Yo, Crypto Nation and mining family, what's going on? What up, what up, what up, all you happy hashers? I see that we got Crypto Bedell already in the house going, F.A. happy Sunday, yeah. Don't forget to smash that lizardy like button as you guys are sliding on in. You all know the good stuff, yo. So let's go ahead and dig right up into things. Uh, First things first. Are you actually like participating in the meme? You know, are you a deck vent sniffer? I guess it's a thing. I really do. I don't get it. I mean, It kind of smells like electronics and plastic to me. Some people think that smells like Cheetos. I think your sinuses are broken, or fresh laundry. I can kind of get that one, but as far as like trying to sniff this stuff, I guess that's more than just a meme. A group for over a year believes that inhaling the fumes of the deck exhaust vents, they can smell, like I said, laundry and Cheetos. Or some users jokingly, if you prolonged sniffing will allow you to see Gavin himself, the creator of the Valve. that was hilarious. Whenever I saw that, I chuckled. I figured I would allow you guys to chuckle at the stupidity of it, that there are people out there that are all about sniffing the vent. Apparently, Steam is the Valve Group is stating that it doesn't pose any risk, but should stop doing it. I would think that a lot of this plastics and such are oil-based products, then going through heat cycles. Does any of the oils get released into the air that these people are sniffing? I don't know. So I mean, I wouldn't do it just because, one, it's just ridiculous, and it's just weird. What up, Wheeling Crypto? Going through Mobos, found out you have 3 boards that I can use for the ETCM nodes on, and they are DDR3. Nice. And then all I have to do is just get the licensing for it, and you're good to go, bro. Nice. Oh. So, yeah, I thought that was hilarious whenever I had seen that. But moving on, right? Moving right along. Let's see here. Open up that, and let's see if my buttons all work today. Hey, they work. Awesome. So... It's Trading with the View. If you guys have never seen this is a free tool. I'm running a free account here. This is no shill. I don't get anything for it. You guys can go venture on there all by your lonesome. So tradingview.com if you guys want to check it out. It's just where you can get a lot of your information for different investments. It's not going to tell you how to invest. It's just tools to help you make the best decision possible, right? So with that being said, we got the S&P 500. These are your top 500 Fortune 500 companies, all kind of into one area where you can invest into. It is trading at a little over $4,700 per share. It did have a little bit of a run up here. Starting on I would say starting about the 15th, it had a pretty decent little run up, and before the day even ended, it had already dropped. So it basically printed out its variation of a Bart Simpson, and it's now looking like it's doing what they call a dead cat bounce. So it Bart Simpsoned out, came up, traded out sideways, dropped almost back down to where it started, came back up for a second rally, but did not have enough momentum with enough people behind them, and it looks like it's now rolling back over. And this is a big market, so you're not going to see huge swings, but this is the stuff that the traders are really looking for: volatility in the market. The S&P 500 is not going anywhere. Let me assure you that. But you'll see the little run-ups here and there. Bitcoin kind of followed the same thing. It's like, and then so we're going to be looking for a definite rollover in this market here, and it looks like for the most part Bitcoin is following even these markets. I mean, you can sit there and see that Bitcoin, let's see here, Bitcoin's been on a tear coming up since what, October 17th. It's been on a rise, right? But if you look at the 15th, let me get over to the 15th here. The 15th, Bitcoin even spiked up and it rolled over in the same sense here. And you can see how Bitcoin rose up. I mean, it did it a little bit beforehand. It basically, Bitcoin started breaking out on the course of right along with gold. That's why people commonly compare it with gold, because right around October 9th, gold started rising. Bitcoin lagged a little bit behind that. Bitcoin, was on the 15th. It started doing its rise. So overall, Bitcoin and gold are kind of doing its thing right along with each other. Okay, it was the 16th that Bitcoin started doing its rise. So a few days after gold, Bitcoin starts going on a tear, because people are starting to look for sound money. The people are going to be looking at tax safe havens that they could put their economic wealth into, something that's going to be a little bit more stable than stocks, because as the government keeps continuously prints money, guys, I mean continuously, I mean, absolutely continuously. I don't know what this is all about. Open tonight at 6 p.m. Something, whatever. But we're about, it's like, are we going to print $34 trillion by the end of the year? The U.S., what was it? The beginning of the end of last year, each taxpayer, person who works and pays taxes, was only owing $249,000. Now we're at $259,000 per taxpayer owed to the government to pay off this debt, which is horrid. And this is going to be some of the catalyst of the market going absolutely berserk. So seeing that Bitcoin, has been going on this rise since the October 16th up until the 11th of December, when it started pulling back, I'm fine with this. Let it pull back, and you can see that it didn't pull back with a lot of momentum. It's now trading out sideways. This is also going to hit a lot of the other markets with this. Now, this here is your proof of work coins, guys, in the whole crypto market itself. And you can see that, yes, Bitcoin pulled back. According to the 7-day, it's pulling back a lot. But when you zoom out on the chart, Bitcoin has only been going up. If you start zooming in, you start seeing the little nuances that the price volatility really happens. But with that being said, too, Dogecoin up. So if you guys are running little mini Doges and stuff like that, you could be a little profitable. Litecoin and Dogecoin are up in mineable profitability. I mean, it's down in the 7 days, but overall, it's still up. Now, it's going to be short-lived if Bitcoin keeps continually drop. Dogecoin, Litecoin, the rest of the market will follow. If you got any of the ETC miners, you're profitable in the short term. Again, these are all your all proof of work. That's all what this channel focuses on. You know, everything else is static noise and garbage. Raven coin up, but the profitability in here is negligible. The reason being on Raven coin because of Kapow, kind of energy intensive, and with no real development on Raven. As much as I like Tron Black, there's nothing. It became a boring zombie project. Even though I like, it's like I like the dev team. They need to do more. There's no push going outward. That's why their price is suffering a bad pullback. You're going to see, Kadena doing good actually in the 7 days. But a lot of this stuff is XNA. What is XNA? Fury price, or I don't even know how to say that. Yeah. Yeah, this would be again something either I'd be looking at a how long has this been out for? We're talking 3 months. So what's the coin all about? What is this all about? Why are you wanting to support XNA, right? Is it just for mining? Because what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing 3 run-ups, and each time it's running up, it's getting less and less momentum and dropping in price, which shows me that there's a group of people out there that are siphoning money out of the system. Otherwise, it just really doesn't have a lot of fundamental. I really don't know much about XNA, just to be honest. You are spec mining it. Yeah. There's times where you can sit there and spec mine some stuff, and in the short term, you'll do good early on. But the problem is you'll have a bunch of people that will mine it, and they're holding on to it. And every time it has a good pump, you're going to have a bunch of the miners that started mining early on sell off a little bit of their bags. And the coin just cannot recover from that. Is what some of the bigger problems is with these smaller new coins. If it doesn't have any real fundamental use case for it, outside of it's just for mining, a small little teeny tiny little niche of a use case on it, it's not the early days of crypto where you could sit there, make a project, and it just shoots to the moon just because it got listed on an exchange. A lot of the OGs are now more cautious about getting involved with a lot of these coins. They'll sit back and watch some of this stuff like I will. I'll watch this stuff come onto the market. I'll watch it run up, and I'll be like, okay, let's see what it does from here. And then I watch it pull back, try to run up, pull back, run up, pull back. And to me, just like I have no reason to do any real research behind some of this stuff, because you can just see it in the chart that it's just a pump and dump, where people spec mine it and just dump it out as fast as they possibly can. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see how things will react in the next bull market, though. That's where I think a lot of these zombie coins, you can be mining the crap out of them, and during a good bull run, it'll be profitable in the short term, but holding on to some of this stuff, man, I just kind of cringe every time I see it. Now, everybody's a little bit different. I want to make sure that if I'm turning on GPUs, it best to be profitable. It's not like I'm going to sit there and want to do ASICs and run ASICs. I'll be willing to run my Bitcoin ASICs at a loss, right? Because I'm getting that sweet Bizity Bitcoin. And we all know, you just hodl Bitcoin and you do good. These other coins, you're going to be mining them, and then it's almost best to, as you get payouts, to just convert into Bitcoin. That's what I was doing with Carlson. Was as soon as I'd get a payout, I would sell right to that sweet Visity Bitcoin. I did not keep any of that Carlson. So as the price went up on Carlson, I was profiting. As the price went down on Carlson, I was still profiting. And then I pulled my stuff off. I mean, it's just that simple. Yeah. Raven, it's like it has less miners than Raven for sure because it's a smaller network, more terahash. Was thinking it was bigger farms hammering it, while Raven seems for small home mining it. You're not gonna see any big. How can I put it? Crypto mining in general is a, how can I put this? Free market as possible. Yes, that's the best way. It is free capitalism at its best. So if miners are not incentivized enough to keep their rigs on that particular protocol, they're going to remove it and either turn it off because they're not being incentivized to keep them running, or they're going to find the next coin, the next protocol that's going to incentivize them for pointing their rigs at that protocol. So as Raven stops delivering value to the public, their overall value diminishes over time. And to the point where so many of the miners have come off of the Raven network that the Raven network is now being where it's, if you're trying to collect as many Raven coins as possible, you're going to get a lot of them. But the dollar amount is just not there behind it to be incentivizing. So if you were using your mining rigs to pay the electric bill, how are you going to pay the electric bill if you're not generating enough crypto to convert to pay that electric bill? That's realistically where you'll be in the long run, is that you'll be negatively impacted. I've mined Raven. I've sold all that Raven off over time. I don't keep the stuff because historically, when you look at a lot of these shit coins, historically, they diminish in value over time. Why? Their failure to launch the product that they have been hyping about. You have places like we'll bring it up like this with because Wheeling Crypto has talked about it here. You know, Cardano, over 3 years, and they still don't have a viable product. They've got the same platform that they've been able that you've been able to build on this whole time. They haven't brought anything to the table. Nothing's different, you know. And you get Charles Hoskinson that's sitting there and going, "Oh, we're gonna do another big update." That's almost like sitting there and watching Tron, you know, and going, you know, Justin Sun was always hyping up, oh, we got a big thing coming, we got a big thing, just wait, this is the announcement for the announcement. And Cardano is like, oh, there's always next update. You know, it's like, if you're always pushing the field goal back, then you never have to worry about ever meeting your goals. That's like, you know, the United States government, you know, going, oh, we're going to have a budget, but they have no spending limits on anything that they're currently doing. They're not cutting any spending. They're just trying to slow it down. So that means it's spending cuts. And so, I mean, you get projects like Cardano that really haven't done much. Here, let me pull it. We can pull it up like this, and all time. Here we go. There you go. All time. And let me put this into perspective. Okay, I have a great way of putting this to you. Okay. So this is how most people look at a chart. Bam. We got a chart here, right? This is Cardano. It's trading at just below 60 cents. You know, in the 7 days, we've had almost 70 cents. Almost 70 cents, right? And you're like, man, that's actually pretty decent. It's just on a small little pullback. Bitcoin's been pulling back a little bit here. We're good to go, right? And then you go, oh man, let's pull back just a little bit. Oh wow. In the last 6 months, Cardano has been on a tear. It's been hitting all-time highs, and it's in its all-time high right now, right? For the last 6 months, this is as good as it gets. And then you do all time. The whole time that Cardano's been around, this little run-up that you're seeing is a blip. Cardano has been almost $3 at its highest point, and that goes back to what, 2018, something like that. 2017, 2018, back when Bitcoin hit $20,000. Oh, that's back here. That
was back during the time that all were coming out.
Oh no, this was during the last bull run. So when Bitcoin hit its meteoric rise of almost $70,000 per Bitcoin, you had Cardano that hit almost $3 per coin. And without Bitcoin's run up, Cardano cannot do that on its own. It is not perpetuating any value. It's centralized voting structure that's broken up between multiple wallets. This is like a, you know, it's an ultimate centralized shitcoin. And without having a real viable product outside of Charles Hoskinson wanting to work with the African government for schooling. Why? Because we need to extract the smart people out of Africa, basically. You know, basically, we're going to track academically the top, brightest people in Africa. Try to hire them into places and pull them out of Africa. Just think about that. I mean, that was something that a few other people that I've talked to have even kicked around that idea. So I'm not the only one that has thought about that little rabbit hole of his. But it's still a know-nothing sandwich. It still doesn't provide any value to the greater public. So you're not going to really see Cardano without Bitcoin having a meteoric rise. It's not going to be worth the holding on to Cardano. What up, Rude? Yeah, that is so true, Deadwood. He's like, Raven seems to be anchored to the 2 cent range. Yeah, and because there is a community for it. Raven still has an amazing little community. But again, I emphasize this one, it's a little community. So, I mean, it's not just wash trading bots on there, thank God. But still, it needs some fresh ideas into Raven. Unfortunately, it's not there. I'm not sure. Let me see here. Hold on here. Let me remind myself who he is. This is the guy with Metal Pay. I've heard of this, but I'm not as familiar, I guess. Huh. I'd have to look into this. I really don't have an opinion. I don't know him. I've heard of this Metal Pay, but that's about it. Sounds interesting. Does he have it like gold and silver backed? Is that what the whole premise of Metal Pay is? Let's see here. Yeah. If it's not a bit of coin, it'd be a shit of coin. Yeah. Okay, let me look into this. Just slightly looking into this. Jason the Tiger Osborne says, "Hey." I don't know. This just looks like a shitcoin exchange, really. I mean, just like for what it looks like. So if you're wanting to do like automated pay, you know, buying stuff, Coinbase even offers this stuff too. So, and anything that's offered here in the United States has to is not going to be able to offer anything different than what Coinbase and Binance US can offer us. So it's just another place that you can get stuff from. But I mean, I don't really have any I guess, opinion on it other than it's another place you can get shit coins. Fed complaint going for payment streaming for our laborers. He has several projects. That's good. I mean, that just makes him a good, an entrepreneur. And we need good entrepreneurs in this space. But again, I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not even dogging on this Metal Pay thing at all. I don't have an opinion on him at all. I don't have other than Metal Pay is a shitcoin exchange. I mean, you can still get Bitcoin. So, I mean, it's not all bad. As long as it's easy enough to be able to, pay friends, or, pay for things out of there. Almost like what Cash App does, Cash App, you could sit there and have Bitcoin and buy stuff with it, load it up onto a credit card, and spend, right? No fees. That's always nice. No fees, but they're getting it from somewhere. It's like, that would make me question something. It's like, if I'm not getting any fees with this, it's like, are you actually getting how close to the actual price of Bitcoin are you buying your $100 worth of Bitcoin? Are you actually getting fair market value of $100 worth of Bitcoin? Or are you getting a markup of $100 worth of Bitcoin? That would be my question. Nobody does anything for free. Everybody makes money somewhere. This website costs money, the management of everything. So there's somewhere down the road, there's a catch here. They're making money, hand over fist. No entrepreneur is not. Nobody does anything for free. So that would be where I would be kind of looking at stuff, right? Seeing what's actually 100% worth it, worth supporting a project. If you're buying $100 worth of Bitcoin, right, on there with no fees, but when you compare it to, let's say, me, for instance, who might purchase something on Coinbase, and I'm getting $97 worth of Bitcoin because of fees, but you're not getting any fees, but they have a markup on the Bitcoin, and let's say you're getting $89 worth of Bitcoin, but it's no fees, right? That would be where my questions would come up. Be my questions. Not that I want to, it's like, and like, you're either going to bake that price in somewhere down the line, and it's just the cost of doing business. So you might have a one set fee of this is what you're going to charge everybody, and you can just bake it into the back end, and now you're not charging anybody anything. This is your percentage markup. It's not a fee. Right? It's the subtle nuances of things. Subtle nuances.
It's like getting free shipping, but they raise the price.
Yeah, getting free shipping and they raise the price. Almost like how Nvidia, you like this in segue, guys? Bam. Thinks that everybody is brain dead, I guess, and that they're going to be now launching the Super and the TI Super together. So, yep. Next month will be busy, guys. Super busy. They're going to make the announcements on the 8th for the 4070, 4070 Ti, and the 4080 Super announcements. On the 8th, they'll have a 4070 Super unboxing. The 16th, the MSRP and reviews come out. The 17th, the 4070 Super reviews and product launch on shelves. The 4070 Ti Super reviews and pricing comes out on the 23rd. The 24th, the Ti Super comes out. And then on the 30th, the 4080 Super pricing is going to get announced. Of course, we're going to get all this stuff beforehand. We'll have lots of leakers. Don't worry, guys. And then on the 31st, so the end of next month, the 4080 Supers will be out. So these are confirmed. It's going to be a thing. It still blows my mind to think of that. We're not only going to get a 4080, but we're going to get a 4080 Super. And you know damn well if AMD launches something that is remotely better than the 4080 Super at this point, there will be a TI variant coming out right after that, that will be a TI Super. You know, it's like, oh my lord. Because they're already sitting there showing that the 4070 Ti and a 4070 Ti Super. So we just see them doing these small little incremental bumps on everything. There is not much difference between like the 4070 and the Super. You got a little over 1,000 CUDA core difference. So this chip binned a little bit better. You still have your 12 gigabytes of GDDR6X memory. You're still going to be at the same bus width. Nothing's really going to change. Maybe into the TI you'll get a bump in the bus width, but I highly doubt it. These cards are going to be just like these small little nominal jumps, and they're just closing the gap in between cards so that they can hit anybody from any market looking for a card. And they're not realizing that they're getting, they're getting the same AD 104 die set, but it has been cut down because this part of the core failed here in temperature, and yada yada yada, all that stuff. They'll just shut down portions of the core so that it stays within spec. So you get lower product tiered cards because they have zero waste foundries. Like Grin locked up pre-sales in with Dome staking 1 year and vetting for 1 year after release, 2-year plan that requires holding of Hero Coin at market top. Then the man disappears at the yeah. I just don't want to deal with that. I'd rather just take coin, take shit coin, turn it into Bitcoin. Rinse and repeat. So much safer. You do not lose mining revenue by sitting there and just, as soon as you get paid out, if it's enough of a threshold to exchange into Bitcoin, to do so. I mean, I'm not sitting there saying, oh, you have to get rid of all the coin, but if you have no intentions of caring about that project, I wouldn't keep any of it. I would just, as soon as you get paid, brain off, no emotions, just sell. Historically, you do better. Yeah, you might be able to time it once or twice and hold on to a bunch of a coin and strike it out of the park once or twice in the market of you trading in this field. But I wouldn't count on that being in the normal. That is not normal. Most people lose. So that's just me. So I mean, but again, with these coming out here, we all knew that they were going to be coming out with Supers and TIs. It was just a matter of when they were going to release it, because they're incentivized to try to slow down the flooding of the market with GPUs. They're in the business of making money for themselves and their stakeholders. So what they will do is they will slow roll GPUs out. NVIDIA has already come out in meetings that they were on purpose holding back the amount of GPUs to be released, causing a higher price because of supply and demand. And they were doing this during the whole COVID craze and blaming it on COVID, when right afterwards it comes out that they were on purpose holding back stock. And what ended up happening, all your gamers that weren't into crypto at all are now, oh, it's all these crypto people's fault for the reason why we can't get GPUs for a good price. And it's like, no, this is your beloved company giving you the middle finger, and they're laughing all the way to the bank because you're not even looking at them as being the culprit behind all of this. It's the miners. 100%, right, guys? 100%. Every time. Damn miners. And right after all of the, the 4080, 4070 Super and a Ti announcements, there is no RTX Super, at least not yet. Bam. A European retailer has accidentally forecasted this. $2,200, over 2,000 euros for a 4090 Super, guys. That's like almost a it's like a what, an $1,800 GPU in USD, something like that. Hold on here. I will pull this up. I was wrong. It's $2,500 4090 Super. And that is an Inno3D one that looks like it might be water cooled. Maybe, I doubt it. It looks like a single DIN. The bottom two are definitely the bottom one's definitely a water block variation. You got the Frostbite Chill. Yeah, these are both. I think the iChill Frostbite series from them is their water blocked variation. So you're looking at like a $2,500 card USD. Asus hybrid card. You're gonna be $4,000 if this is true. That is insanity. Talk about holding back inventory to artificially pump the price. What does this do in the long run? Makes AMD look like heroes, because they're producing just as good of a GPU. Ooh, you lose your ray tracing off of the deal, because they're not big with the ray tracing. Me personally, I've got a card that does ray tracing. I keep my ray tracing off. Why? Because it's horrible for gameplay. You lose frames per second. I don't get an uptick using it, utilizing, a DLSS. Yes, the DLSS helps uptick the ray tracing aspect of it. Yes, I do play around with the ray tracing on games every so often, but it's not for games that I need as many frames per second as possible. If I need the frames, that shit's off. This way I can get as many frames packed into every second as I can. Yeah, granted, my eyes can't see it, but I want to have every possibility to make sure that, if I'm racing, I can take a turn, I can see everything properly. Or if I'm doing a first-person shooter, that maybe I get 15 chances in a small doorway to shoot you, versus with the ray tracing on, I might get eight chances to shoot you in that same doorway. It makes a big difference, guys, for competitive gameplay. So for me, a lot of these ray tracing cards are not really worth it. For mining wise, I get it. NVIDIA is just a monstrous of a good mining card versus AMD, because there's nothing that's very memory intensive that AMD can really kind of excel at this point. So you got one really good choice for mining, and then you've got AMD and Intel that are good for your budget-friendly GPU builds. If you're wanting a good gaming rig, Intel's not bad. They fixed their drivers. Their stuff is a lot better than what it was when it launched. So, I mean, they're now a very viable GPU to utilize. It competes very nicely with everybody else at 1080p performance. So as long as you're already using 1080p and you just want to get a better GPU, Intel is not a bad choice, and it's cheap. They are AMD and Intel are very competitive in their pricing. AMD would be like the premium variation, you know, and then you've got Intel and Nvidia that's just like, fuck you. We'll sit there and charge you up the wazoo for year-over-year nominal bumps in performance, and you're just gonna pay for it because we're Nvidia. It's hard to really back them up. Like I said, if I have to go and update my computer graphics card at any point in the future, I am not going to be putting in an Nvidia card back into here. It will be for the first time, a pure AMD build for myself. But again, they're decent. But one thing I saw that isn't decent, guys, I can't believe that MSI would do this. MSI already has problems with heat. So they're going to bring back one of the classics, the classic Cyclone design on here. This was the early day GTX 460 Cyclone edition from MSI. These things were not that good back then either. And they think that by revamping it, because they're using it on a low power card, that it's going to be fine. No, it's not. I'd be curious to see somebody actually get this and put this into real world testing to see that these axial style coolers were not that good back in the day. I mean, you can see right below the fan how chongus that little center section is. It's like they didn't even make fins going all the way down. They basically did the cheapest tooling possible on a modern GPU. So it was like, congratulations, you brought back old school, took off the covers, redesigned the covers, and repurposed an old classic card. I mean, they had to they still had the tooling for the coolers to make them themselves. I don't think that this is going to be a high performer. You try to overclock this thing, and yeah, good luck. These Cyclones, even back in the day, were not the best performers. But, you know, MSI is not really good with all their cooling. I've got two MSI's 3080s, and one will perform significantly better cooling wise than the other. You know, especially like, you know, back in the day, you had the MSI duals. If anybody remembers those, FA's in the chat. And everybody knew you wanted to get the red dual cards because the white duals would just overheat and thermal throttle on you like almost instantaneously. Zotac was not good about sitting there and dealing with heat because it was just, they did not have thick enough of a cooler and a good enough airflow. And I think that the bringing back the Cyclone is gonna make anything better. Oh my god. Good god. So that's not a card that I would really go after for mining wise, unless you're gonna sit there and just undo that fan off of there and zip tie a server fan right to the sucker, and then and only then, I believe, you'll be able to keep this thing from thermal throttling. That'd be my opinion. My opinion. I know. And then we got another one from MSI. Since we're on the topic of MSI, MSI to enable 256 gigabytes of RAM on their X670 motherboards. Since Kingston, they want to be able to use Kingston's new 64 gigabyte modules. So that's basically what they're wanting to do. be able to populate these with the biggest amount of RAM on here. Now, if you guys are looking for high performance, you're wanting to overclock your RAM and stuff like that, you're not going to be utilizing these big RAM modules. You're not going to populate all the DINs. Single channel RAM with one stick on there is going to get you your best performance, but you lose your dual core performance, right? And then you sit there and you put 2 RAM sticks in there to populate for dual channel RAM. It takes a little bit of your overclocking off, but you now have the benefit of your dual channel RAM. And as soon as you populate all 4 of them, you really can't overclock the hell out of it. Like for my Threadripper, right? I've got 64 gigabytes of RAM in here. This thing, their Trident G-Skill RAM, tight timings on it, 16 CL with 32 gigabytes, 3200 mega transfers per second. But because of the configuration that I have it in, with all slots for quad channel RAM populated, the most that I can overclock my RAM is up to 2,666 mega transfers a second. That is the absolute peak that I can do in quad channel RAM with all DINs populated. Now, if I were to bring it down to 1 DIN, I can get my 3,200 mega transfers. What does that do for you? Let's say, for instance, you got a CPU miner. You'd be able to overclock the snot out of your RAM. So if you guys are looking to get more performance for your CPU mining, like how I'm tying this into mining really good, pull out and only have the bare minimum of what that rig needs. You only need 1 RAM stick in there, and then you can overclock that RAM to its peak potential, get all the performance that you're looking for from your CPU and your RAM. Especially if you're not using it as a daily PC. Now, if you're using it as a daily PC, you're wanting to get all the benefits of what you've purchased, then you're also going to be taking hits on your overclockability. What up, Dakota Miner? Oh, we got Sadie in the house. Sadie says, "Hey, Mrs. Nem." Oh, we got Katie that wants to be petted too. So, if you guys are looking to get more performance from your CPU miners, are you guys CPU mining right now and you've got dual channel RAM populated? Take one of those bad boys off, re-overclock your RAM to get the full potential. Hey, what's up? All set? Kitty. Everybody wants to see the kitty.
I'm Cammy.
Cammy's cute. But yeah, I mean, we're going to be seeing like a lot of these new motherboards wanting to take advantage of the new RAM. Just know that it is a lot newer. You don't get the speeds that you're really thinking you're going to get, especially if you're populating all of them up. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're building out your rigs, guys, that you want the CPU mine. Less is more. 100%. 100% on this. And then, of course, everybody wants to know, everyone, I don't care who they are in this market today, what the hell should we be mining? Is this bull run territory or what, guys? I would say we're at the beginning of it. We're getting coins here and there that are stacking up and allowing you to get some good profitability. You get like your 4090s are making 287 on Pyrin. What the hell is Pyrin? It's basically a fork of Caspa. So just know this is a Caspa fork here. A lot of these Caspa forks, they all have Caspa issues from whenever Caspa got their whole network dusted, they implemented an upgrade. A lot of these forks of Caspa did not implement those upgrades, so to actually dust the network and spam it, it is still possible on these other forks. You've got your Conflux and Radiant, Conflux and Alphium that are profitable. Carlson is still profitable, depending on your power rate. But this is at 11 cents per kilowatt, right? So I mean, a 3080 is profitable on Conflux and Radiant. You're making $1.61 a day per card, guys. Per card. If you don't want to sit there and support Radiant, you can just do Conflux by itself, and you'd be making $1.57 a day. So I mean, you got a whole bunch of these. You can be, if you got 20 of these and you're making $2 a day, you're basically making $40 a day. And then you minus your electric bill off the top of that, which these things are what? Pulling 30 cents worth of power each day. So you're what? $1.60 cents ish, give or take per day in actual profits per card. So like Conflict's whole farm on Nice Hack till it falls off, then back to soloing small caps with big blocks. We got 22 in the house. We got that DJ Mine with the 22. 22 in the house, man. Yo, what up, DJ Mines? Yo, thanks for showing up, homie, guys. Big old FA in the Chizzity chat for DJ Mines. Yo. What up? So yeah, I mean we're definitely going to be looking at this is what I think is the beginning of the possible GPU bull run, and it goes through little super cycles. So I mean we've been due, guys, for a super cycle for sure, guys. I mean, how long has it been since you've seen me do GPU mining content at all? And here I've got shorts now showing that I've got over 30 GPUs rolling right now. I've got more set to fire up here. I've got A2000 sitting off to the sidelines. I've got 3060 Ti's that are not even running yet. I mean, I got a whole bunch. I have like 70-ish GPUs that I'm going to be deploying here pretty shortly, especially with the market kind of with GPUs stabilizing out. It's like, it's on like Donkey Kong whenever you hear me going, I'm going to fire up I've turned off my Bizity Bitcoin ASICs in lieu of GPU. Because I can earn more at my power rate of about 11 cents a kilowatt hour. It makes more sense to mine with GPUs and profitable per GPU. And it doesn't even matter which GPU I'm mining with at this point. I mean, hell, 1070 and 580s are profitable. At least they were when I was looking at it last. Let me double check here. I think pretty much AMD 580, RX 580s, guys, you can be making 5 cents a day. Now, if that's all you got, bro, that's still 5 cents in the positive. A380 mining making 4 cents. A 1050 Ti, guys. Yes, you heard me say it. A 1050 Ti making 3 cents a day. It is freaking profitable. Holy crap. It's profitable to run a 480. No way. A 480 is profitable. 1070s are profitable. 1080 Ti's, 1070 Ti's. All these cards are back in play, guys. Absolutely back in play. Nice. DJ Mines is like, I'm about to go hive mapping while I listen. Noise. But yeah, I mean, we are looking at definite, like when you're looking at hardware that's over 5 years old, a 1060 that's profitable, making 12 cents. A 1070 Ti and a 1060 are both making 12 cents. A Vega 56, the power whore herself, is profitable. If anybody's ever had a Vega 56, you know about how much power that bad boy can drink. 1660s are profitable, of course. I mean, shit, dude. My 1660 Ti makes 19 cents a day. And it doesn't even, and that's after electric. This thing uses maybe 10 cents in electric, guys. 10, 11 cents. Oh my God, I bet, dude. He's like, Sadie's like, 480's profitable? We're not even bull run yet. Fire! Yeah, I bet, man. As soon as the prices start taking a small rip, all the scalpers are going to be all over it. You absolutely know it. You absolutely know it. That was like, what was it? There's been other things that I've dealt with over time where it went into a bull run, and I was able to take something that I paid $100 for and sell it for like 1,000. I was like, say no more. It's not really scalping if people are really willing to pay for it. Scalpers can only sell it for what people are willing to buy it for. So you'll have a bunch of people buying, and it's going to take a run up on all these things. So I mean, you guys got old hardware, and that's all you have. You guys can fire that stuff up and be profitable. And there's a plethora of coins to get up onto: Dynex, CoinFlux, Radiant, Pyren, Calor, Alphemium. God, there's like a whole bunch. Nexa, Nyaxa. I mean, there's only a few things that are not profitable, and that's a 570, which those things were junk to begin with, and an A4500 just because they use too much in power. The A4500 is really a power hog, not very good. So we're going to be seeing things come out that, you know, that are going to come out for GPUs that are going to be really profitable for all of us. I think moving forward, I think as long as the market stays its course. Now, if we have the Christmas dump, guys, it'll be short-lived, in my opinion. Don't hold me to it. It'll be short-lived, guys. I mean, it's crypto. Give it a month and things can change dramatically, as they say. But if we have our Christmas dump, it'll cause a bunch of people to turn their rigs off, and you'll be able to accumulate more coinage in a smaller amount of time. And then you just wait for the market to pump on the other side, and typically I see it people working out very well for people, right? So if we do have the market dump, I would sit there and just like look at whichever ones that have some kind of fundamentals that is losing you the least amount of money while you're mining it at that particular junction. You hold on to the coins, so you're really not losing anything. And except the only thing that sucks is if you're using your mining to pay for your electric, you might be the person that'll turn off during that point in time, unless you've got another hustle that can pay for the electric bill while the market drops a little bit. Hold on to those coins. When the market returns, you'll be happy most 90% of the time. Again, that 10% kind of fills in for you picked the wrong coin and it was dead to begin with. And yeah, be careful with that. Do your own research, as they say, right? Do your own research. Like, if the market dumped tomorrow, I would not be sitting there and trying to mine Pyren and Pepe proof of work to hold on to, right? That makes no sense to me. Conflux, Alphium, Nexa, Nyaxa, Ergo, stuff like that, Radiant, I will I would hold on to something like that before sitting there and looking at Pyram, Pepe, Retherium, and all these other, Carlson, Ironfish. I just don't believe in these networks. So I don't believe that they have a high enough of a potential of a return if I were to hold on to them and mine it during a bear market for mining, right? But I believe we might be looking at the beginning of it. Usually it sparks off that we start actually earning a little bit better right before GPU season kicks up. That's why I never really got rid of any of my GPUs, guys. And I never told anybody, oh, GPU's dead, get rid of it all. No, I just kind of had it turned off, sitting off to the side. The machinery does not break down from just sitting there unless you're sitting it in water. Something stupid like that. Your animals are sleeping on it and furring it up. You'll have to clean it, but it's still not doing any damage. So I just kind of kept everything off and going, you know what? I'll leave it off until it's worth it. Now, I was also trying to, at that time too, is recover from shutting down the facility. So trying to get on top of all the bills that I had accumulated too. So I was kind of holding off on doing all my all the mining stuff, and I was just kind of doing it with smaller stuff, some CPUs, because it didn't cost a whole lot, but I was still mining this whole time. So I know what it's like to mine through multiple bear markets. And you just got to figure out the best course of action for your finances. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's just a numbers game at the end of the day. Now, for spec mining, personally, I don't always recommend people to mine to exchanges unless you're sitting there kind of staying on top of it, exchanging the coins for Bitcoin, and then pulling the coins off of the exchange to your wallet. And for the love of God, don't be using Ledger, guys. They're only selling off all your data to third party. They're just bad news bear. You will lose your coin with them. That's why I was telling everybody, yes, I do use them. No, I don't put a whole lot onto it. I believe in core QT wallets. That's where I'll always sit there and hold on to the stuff. And then I hold on to the private key, not on my PC. So, yeah, my private keys barely touch my PC unless I'm sitting there making a transaction with it. Otherwise, I've got it in cold storage. And the GPU mining's definitely bouncing back now with the price of everything coming up. It does also help push other products up in price too, right? So if you guys are into Kaspa, you believe in Kaspa and not all the new Kaspa forks, the pricings are as such. Whenever the pricing goes up, you are getting what they call spot price. What is spot price? Spot price is the price of which everybody is paying for it at. Now, if you were to try to get the Ice River machines right now, other than the KS0 Pro, everything else is sold out. So you're going to be getting it used or through third party and paying a premium for this stuff. Now, I don't have any of the Kaspa stuff. I'm not participating in it. I never did. Full transparency on this. But I know some of you guys do participate with this. So you'd be like $450 with for the power supply and the KS0 Pro. And then you're going to have to put a fan up on top of here because everybody says you can cook an egg with this thing. So I do recommend it if you guys like your equipment, to keep your equipment clean and cool at all times. I've actually had to have discussions with people posting on my videos going, oh, you dirty, rotten GPU miners. It's like, bro, we take care of our stuff better than you do. I clean my stuff every month. Oh, I doubt that. Like, bro, I got videos on this stuff here of me thoroughly cleaning my stuff. It's It's like, look at my stuff, and there's no dust on that stuff. I mean, like surface dust, sure, but I'm not saying like I see gamers with cobwebs hanging off of their GPUs, right? Inch thick dust. And you're like, you open it up, and you're like, ugh, you know, and these are your GPU miners. That they think their GPU miners are doing this, and it's like, no, it's you gamers. Yes, there are some miners out there that do this, but mostly gamers do this. They set their nice computer up, and unless they put it in display mode, they never clean the sucker unless it's as an issue. I clean my stuff out because I know it's my computer. My main computer is low to the ground, and there's no filters on there. So I know every so often, because of my cats, I gotta clean it. I clean my computer more often than my two younger brothers. I will guarantee you my two younger brothers haven't opened up their computer if they haven't done any upgrades. You know, that's just how how they have been. You know, it's like, oh my God, and having them sit there and say that that's how us miners do it. It's like, no, we take care of our stuff better than all you gamers. Oh yeah, exactly, Sadie. Exactly. It's like used cards from dirty gamers, dude. It's like, and then God forbid they're a chain smoker or they live near with a chain smoker. Oh, you can just smell the smoke off the card, and you're like, it's sticky. Oh. You take an alcohol pad, one wipe, and it's brown. You're like, oh my God. I've seen engine blocks cleaner than this. I'm just saying, I have seen engine blocks cleaner than this. I don't see that too much from the mining community. I buy gear off of other miners, and this stuff, like I look at it and I'm like, oh my God, the coolers look brand new. Like, holy crap. You can definitely tell, you know, that they were well taken care of, well loved, and I could throw them on. Like, I took my 1080 Ti, not my 1080 Ti, I took my 3080 Ti from a mining rig and put it into my PC, and it's been working absolutely flawless. Absolutely flawless. It's like literally smoked for 30 years, never inside. So gross. Oh yeah, I know. Oh God, Jason. Oh. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, Jason. You should never be smoking near your equipment. Never. It collects all the dusties. All. I know. I cleaned a buddy of mine's Vega 64, and it was disgusting. There's video on there. I have video to it. It was disgusting. I pulled a sticky carpet off the cooler. So gross. So absolutely gross. Oh, you could still go the hell outside. It'll make you smoke less. You'll save money. You'll be able to stack more sats. Thank me later. Go outside. Just saying. It's always choice. You can quit. I used to smoke 2 packs a day. I quit.
Cigarettes outside in your car.
Yep, I kept my cigarettes outside in my car with my lighter. Man, it makes you think twice about going out and grabbing a cigarette during the middle of winter. Oh God. You're the dirty miner that these guys warned me about. You're the guy. We found one. You better be cleaning your rigs more often, man. I'm just saying. I'm holding you to a higher standard. A clean rig gets more Bitcoin. You must not like your Bitcoin. I'm just saying. Just saying. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Jason the Tiger Osborne must not like it. Must not like a lot of Bitcoin. He smokes around his equipment and are dirty, so they're running hotter. So when they run hotter, they don't hash as hard. When they're not hashing as hard, you're earning less. So thank you for giving me more Bitcoin. Call out, call out. A friendly call out. They're not running as strong as they could be. I'm just saying. Just saying. And as far as other equipment, talking about Bitcoin mining, we can always bebop up over to Bitmain. No affiliate here, don't worry. You got your Bitcoin miners themselves, the S21 Hydro, which is going for $6,500. You got your S21 air cooled at $3,900. You've got your S19K Pros for $2,500, and they're supposed to be coming out with an S21 variant that can be ran off of 220. Right now, it is 3-phase power for these bad boys. So they're supposedly supposed to come out with another Bitcoin miner that's supposed to use 2 C19 plugs instead of the single 3-phase plug on there. So hopefully this comes out sooner rather than later. Increased your mega hash. Yeah, nice. So we'll be definitely seeing some ASICs coming out, and a lot of the stuff is at spot price, so it's whatever the market's willing to pay for. The price will fluctuate on these. And one thing I thought was hilarious is that they're still doing on-rack Filecoin miners. Ship date already hosted in data centers. So they've already got these deployed out in data centers that you can go and rent. And I thought this was hilarious to see Filecoin on the list. I was like, wow, since when? Holy cow. You can do the Ant box for 100 grand. That's got everything on the inside that you would need, except for the miners, of course. You've got your X5 miner because Monero still hasn't forked. So these are still viable. CKB boxes still going out, but this is your creme de la creme. You've got your What's miners that are all out there. All of the stuff is spot orders. So you got your What's miner M66. And these things are at 276 terahash at 19.9 joules a terahash for giggity $6,900. And the prices kind of widely range all over the place. You got the M50S at $2,000, the M50 at $1,300, and then you got the M50S Plus at almost $3,000. And this for the M50S Plus, you're going to be looking at running this thing on 240 volts, so you best to have some serious power. You're going to be running at around, typically what I end up seeing with these is about 3,400 watts with the Bitmain or the What's miners. You'll be 34 to 3,500 watts. And this thing will be 138 terahash model on here for 24 joules a terahash. So the efficiency is not bad at all. Now it's a little better on the Bitmain stuff, of course, guys. But you're also talking about, you know, much bigger miners that are costing a whole lot more, industry leader versus its direct competitor. But what I do like about these is that their temperature thresholds are a lot better. So, you know, these things will operate at up to 110 degrees out, right? I believe that's what that is. So let me double check here. So yeah, so these newer ones are at have about a 90 degree to 100 degree, a 95 to 100 degree threshold. If you got good airflow on the WhatsMiners at 35C headroom, which is about 95 degrees, you got good airflow. You can get away with running it a little hotter, but you've got to have the serious airflow. There is no, I'm going to put the bare minimum, and it's not going to fly. And then, of course, we've got Osprey. Man, I'd really like to get one of these. Even if like, I'd like to get either an E100 or the E300. But, you know, these things are getting a little pricey. They are a little pricey. $2,000 on the one style of Osprey, and then a little over $5,000 for the 3 board. So I can get the single board Osprey for like $2,000, or I can get the 3 board from Osprey for a little over $5,000. And if we go into bull market territory, this price goes up. You know what I'm saying, guys? So I have been thinking about these a little bit, and I'm figuring, depending on how much crypto I can earn, will depend on which one I can get my hands on first. Because I'll do this with crypto earnings. I'm not pulling money out of what I make at my work. I try not to have the funds separated like that, because if I do that, it will allow me to save up for property to homestead on and not spend everything here mining. So I'd rather have the mining gear should pay for more mining gear. I'm at that point. So depending on how quickly I can get to, like, let's say $2,000, depends on if I get the E100 versus the E300. If I can get to the E300 very quickly, then that's what I'm going to do. But I've been wanting one of these. I'm kind of jealous that my homeboy Mikkel has one. And I'd like to get one too, just because the FPGAs are kind of fun to play with. Not always not profitable all the time, but they are. You have a little bit more fun playing around with them. I'm just saying. But they do come with a pretty sizable price tag. So, with that being said, that's pretty much everything that I had going on for today. So, thank you, everybody, for being here. All that good stuff. Definitely smash that Lizzie like button. Subscribe, especially if you made it this far and you haven't done so already. All that good stuff. Check out the links down below. Join the Discord. It's free to join, guys. Love to have you be a part of the community. If you guys would like to, check out the Patreon, get some behind the scenes knowledge. If you guys aren't mining on that XM rig, there is stuff in there that would allow you to get a 0% dev fee from the miner. And I've got to put an update in there for the Windows executable so that you can have, I've already compiled it on Windows, and that'll be in the Patreon too. So go ahead and check that stuff out if you're CPU mining and you want to become at least 1% more profitable. Guaranteed. Definitely drop some FAs in the Chizzity chat and all that good stuff, because you guys are rated F for freaking awesome. Yo. Aha. And with that being said, I'm gonna cut up out of here. Definitely when you're let the credits roll on this, and then click off on one of the videos that YouTube suggests, because it does help with that click-through rate and helps YouTube suggest my videos because people watch all the way to the end. So it kind of helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. That's all. That's all. Thank you, everybody who participates in all of that stuff. Thank you all for being here. Peace out. Stay savage. May your watts be low and your hash be high. I'll see you on the next one. Yo.